the one and only Ahmed Ali. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
And then I started doing more research and I found you, and I hate doing videos, but the coaching calls was one of the things. And then you had another video that caught my eye where it was specific, outside the PMP, but I knew this is real content. This is things that will be on exam, right?
I did hard work for sure, but I think the follow-up, sir, you did. I don't know how you managed to do the follow-up. With one particular student like me, you have hundreds of students. You are just keeping an eye on each of the students. So after my hard work, I can say that the credit goes to you, sir. That is for sure.
Hi Amir, good morning. Yes, I cleared the exam. Thank you so much for your support. And this has happened only because of that customized roadmap and mocks, and you always keep on asking us to do proper RCA, detailed RCA. It happened only because of the detailed RCA. Yes, this RCA helped me a lot.
Thank you for all this guidance and support you gave me. Mr. Amir, thanks for our team.
So I was just looking at his post, who cleared the PMP, and he used to post the success stories on daily basis. So I reached out to Alina and I asked her how is this program or something. So she said you can trust him and you should join this program if you are looking for it.
It was a very customized base feedback that I was getting from sir, from you.
So yes, follow-up is very important, and thank you very much for that. It made me accountable. If you didn't ask me this often, I would have slacked off more.
I would say your course was super important. I think this was the main part, once you understand the course, and then I think the mocks were super important. Your emphasis on mocks, you kept nagging us that, get this mock done, do RCA. All of this was super helpful because questions were they were similar. So yeah, mocks were, there are so many mocks that you have, and if you do all of them, I'm pretty sure anybody who goes, who does them can easily clear a PMP.
Amir, first of all, thank you so much. I think without your guidance, it took me 1 year, one complete year. I was preparing for PMP through books and everything. So I was giving some mocks also available online, and I was not able to, have that confidence that I'll be able to clear. But I'm telling you, after attending the classes, especially after doing the mocks, doing the RCAs, I was feeling confident enough that yes, I can attempt it. And the day you told me to book your exam, I still asked you that are you sure that I can give the exam? And you said yes, you are ready.
First of all, I thank you a lot for the privilege, because when I started encounter with your program through LinkedIn, so some of your thoughts, always motivating me, I can do it. So I always follow you, almost everything, all your journeys. I watch all of them, even the one that they speak in your local language.
So that was not an easy journey, and it would not be possible without you. I really appreciate the support. He was always available for my questions and always put me in the right direction. And actually, if I want to say how was the journey, my journey started 2 years back when I first called you for the SP, and then you directed me to PMP, and then we did SP after that, and then you tricked me to do the PGMP.
Thank you so much, and again, Amir, thank you so much, and your mocks are really good. I mean, yeah, please, everyone should do your mock for sure, and then they will be all prepared for the exam. And trust your program.
And then you came with your follow-ups, and that kind of really boosted me. Those daily follow-ups, making sure that I was getting the mocks that I needed to do completed, and following up on me, it really boosted my motivation again. And as I was started doing those mocks, I got an opportunity for a job which required me to have PMP. So I had to book for PMP before I get the interview.
Mostly coaching goal is for you understand how you will solve the question. Mostly it is like that. We can only do the 10 or 12 questions, maybe less than that. But main thing is it will come into your bones that you have to do elimination technique. So you cannot go just, okay, this is the answer, I will go directly put this answer. That is the main thing. It will come into you that you have to do elimination technique. That is the best thing for coaching all.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, with the right guidance from yourself, I managed to do good in the exam and to clear the PMP. I would say that your approach was really helpful because I'm not that type of a person who would sit there and read a lot of theoretical things to get things done. I'm more of a practical person who would prefer practicing over sticking to the theoreticals. And
I would definitely say that the root cause analysis for me was the key. And here's why. Is some people try so hard to memorize all the processes and how they're all linked together. And if you do this, then you got to do that. And some people, maybe they think that way. That was very hard for me. It was just a lot to memorize. I'm not Amer Ali. I can't do that. So for me, just the process of actually answering the questions with your technique of process of elimination. And then you're left with always like two answers. Which one do you do? And if you get it wrong, you have to go do the root cause analysis. So thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you very much for everything. Fantastic. I would not have done as well as I had done if I hadn't had the foundation that you gave me, for sure.
Who here wants to be successful? Raise your hands.
Hi, hello, welcome to the one session of PMP solving session, and this is Jane Martina from Amir Ali stream. So without much further delay, let's go back to the session for today. We have 10 questions to be solved. Okay, so the ground rules are like whenever you find the answers, you can type in the chat box or the comment section, and we will be solving the questions. The objective is we will be breaking down the question, identifying the keywords, following the 7-step formula, and then we will be doing the elimination technique to solve the questions. So let's get back to the session. So here goes first question for today's session. Question number 16. Nova Form is deploying a new vaccine cold chain system. The regulator issues updated requirements for real-time monitoring. The sponsor insists the ministry expects a live demo next month. Vendor warns the integration will delay rollout 6 weeks. Finance raises alarms about cost overruns. What should the project manager do? Capture regulator mandate in issue log while suspending configuration work pending validation. B, engage governance stakeholders, sponsors, regulators, and finance to confirm compliance path before replanning. Document vendors' delay as a procurement risk while continuing with sponsors' demonstration timeline. D, prepare upload cost forecast for finance while rebaselining the rollout plan to observe delay. So here goes the timer. Okay, as most of you have answered the comment section, okay, let's go to the question and look into what is the problem statement in the question first. Okay, so they are deploying a new washing cold chain system. So there is something that the regulator is giving up, because for the real-time monitoring, and the sponsor, who is above the project manager, insists the ministry expects a live demo next month. So they are having a live demo plan coming up in the next month. And vendor who's working with the project is giving a warning saying integration will delay rollout 6 weeks, but they are planning a demo next month with this, which is within 4 weeks or time. Okay, so and the finance raises alarms about cost overrun. So there are multiple problems that is mentioned here, and considering this, in the options, let's see what the project manager can do. Okay, first A, let's see what is this option is talking about. Capture regulator mandate in issue log while suspending configuration work pending validation. So here it is just updating one particular thing, and they are suspending on the configuration work, which is like pending validation, because they cannot put anything under pending. So we can eliminate option A. Option B, engage governance stakeholders, that is sponsors, regulator, and finance, to confirm compliance path before replanning. So here in the problem statement, we have many stakeholders coming up with different problems. So combining them together and working out with them for understanding whether there is any deviation, and then confirming to the compliance path is what this option talks about. This seems to be a good option considering the problem statement that is mentioned there. But we shouldn't stop here. We should go to the option C and D to rule it out. Okay, option C talks about document vendors delay as procurement risk while continuing with sponsors demonstration timeline. But this is not a procurement risk, this is a procurement issue, because they are warning about the delay and it is an issue that is happening, not a risk. So they are misleading it by saying it as a risk. And option D talks about prepare updated cost forecast for finance while rebaselining the rollout plan to observe delay. This is like even without consulting whether there is a need for the rebaselining, coming up with the updated forecast for finance is like a premature kind of doing it like a reactive action, as we say. So we will be going with option B, and I can see many of you has typed option B as the right answer. Very good. Let's move to the next question. At Finlink, a distributed Scrum team where India, Brazil, Germany develops a blockchain platform. Mid-sprint, CFO demands an early release. Developers warns about untested compliance features. Participation in retrospective is uneven due to the cultural styles. Product owner is traveling, that means he is not around. What should the project manager do? A, note CFO's request as backlog item while deferring compliance concern to sprint review. B, capture variance in delivery roadmap while preparing CFO focused value justification. C, engage developers across regions to consolidate compliance concern before balancing against CFO's request. D, defer resolution to the next retrospective, focusing first on cultural participation patterns. So when you are putting the option in the comment section, kindly mention the question number along with your options. So we will not be having confusion with the question and options. Okay. Timer starts now. Okay, so coming back to the question, problem statement says there is a distributed Scrum team working in India, Brazil, and Germany who are working on a blockchain platform. Okay, so in mid of the sprint, the CFO demands early release. That is, even before the sprint is completed, the CFO is asking for an early release. And we don't know why the pressure is there because the question doesn't include that. And the next concern is from the developers that they say that there are untested compliance features. Okay, this is one of the keyword. And another challenge is in retrospectives, whenever the people come and retrospect on the sprint that is delivered, they don't find even participation because it is from India, Brazil, and Germany, maybe due to the cultural styles or the time zone. But here they say due to cultural styles. So the product owner who has to define what has to be done at the first place is not around, he's traveling. So in this scenario, what we will be doing? So option A talks about you have to take the CFO's request as a backlog item while deferring compliance concerns to sprint review. But differing compliance cannot be taken at any place. Regulatory requirements, compliance, governance, all these three things takes a precedence over any requirement that is coming in between of the sprint. So taking a CFO's request as a backlog item is okay, but this option is including while differing compliance concerns to the sprint review, so which is not acceptable. So we will be eliminating option A. Option B, capture variance in delivery roadmap while preparing CFO focused value justification. Here it is see, you are immediately jumping into the action. Even though the CFO has requested for an early release, you cannot be just jumping into that, preparing your variants in the delivery roadmap, like what are the features that you can compensate for accommodating the request by the CFO. So this is not a good practice. So we will be eliminating option B. Option C says engage developers across regions to consolidate compliance concern before balancing against CFO's request. As I said earlier, compliance, regulatory, governance requirements take precedence even with the request from the pressure from the senior managements, because according to the PMI, you cannot compromise on these requirements. So always compliance, governance, and regulatory requirements take precedence. So this option is almost acting in that precedence. Precedence means in which order it has to be executed. So option C holds good for right now, but we should also see to the option D to eliminate to go with the option C. So option D says defer resolution to the next retrospective, focusing first on the cultural participation patterns. This is like delaying an action. You are not doing anything until your next retrospective. So this option cannot be good. So we are going with option C as a right answer. Okay, agreed? Moving on to the next question. Hydromax must commission turbines by year end. Supplier wants shipping delays. Sponsor suggests renting old turbines. Environmental protest arise. Board accepts visibility. So what is the most appropriate step here? So option A, engage procurement governance to evaluate continuity options while recording supplier delay as an issue. B, update schedule baseline to reflect delays while drafting change request for the scope adjustments. C, present sponsors interim solution to the board while awaiting procurement decisions. D, address environmental protests through stakeholder engagement while deferring procurement resolution. Here goes the timer. Okay, going back to the question, let's see what are all the problem statements that comes with this question. Okay, what is they are saying is they are having a Hydromax must commission turbines by year end. So they are working on the turbines, and by the end of the year they have to commission it. And the supplier, that is supplier wants shipping delays, so means there is some issue with the procurement. Okay, sponsor suggests renting old turbines. So your management or the senior management, they are suggesting to go and rent old turbines. Okay, and environmental protest arise. This doesn't have any relation to the current procurement issue, which is related to the turbines because of the delay. Okay, and board wants a visibility of this. So in this situation, what will be your most appropriate step? Let's decode the options as well. Option A says engage procurement governance to evaluate continuity options while recording supplier delay as an issue. Yes, supplier delay is not a risk, but here it is an issue. Okay, so that is okay, that is addressed here. So once you raise an issue, and to resolve the issue, whatever you are going to do will be handled after that. So within the scope of this question, just let's analyze the option. Okay, so option A says you are going to record this issue as yes, delay as an issue, and the meantime you are engaging with the procurement governance to see how you are going to continue in this scenario. So here this is saying, even though this is logged as an issue, but still you are finding out an option to continue. So this seems to be like more of a addressing to whatever the problem that is mentioned in the question. But let's go to the option B. Update schedule baseline to reflect delays while drafting change request for the scope adjustment. Again, excuse me. Here again, the quest, it is like a reactive action for this scenario. Okay, so you can, without analyzing, without ensuring and looking out for options, you cannot directly do any actions that is pertaining to the pertaining to this particular scenario. Okay, so option B can be eliminated. Option C, present sponsors interim solution to board while awaiting procurement decision. So yes, this is again like an escalation thing, like whatever the sponsor is suggesting, you are going to put it across the board for their approval, and this might cause them any kind of chaos or noises that they will be warned, or they will be alarmed with this kind of a scenario. So instead of giving them that, first you need to have a proper see, always PMI wants to address the conflict or the issue in this way. instead of going and telling your board or steering committee with the problem, it is always good to have a solution to that problem and you go with the solution. So if you see option C, it doesn't set or it doesn't meet that requirement. So you have to eliminate option C. Option D, address environmental protests through stakeholder engagement while differing procurement solution. See, the problem with this option and option A is option D is still right, but you consider this while differing procurement solutions. No, environmental protest arise. Yes, this is addressing that, but you can never defer the procurement resolution because that is going to cause a delay, which is you are having a roadmap of by end of this year, and this is going to delay that. So because of that, you will be eliminating option D and you will be going with option A. Agreed? Okay. If there is any clarification or doubt that you need, you can take a screenshot, and then if you are part of Amirali's program, then you will be available in any of their WhatsApp groups, so you can ask queries there. So we will be there to explain you further. Okay? Yes. So moving on to the next question. At Meditech, developers push AI first diagnostics. QA warns regulators may flag results. So sponsor insists on innovation image. Team cohesion drops as debates intensify. Which is the most appropriate action? A, document conflict in issue log while deferring QA concerns to governance body. B, prioritize sponsors innovation concern while planning regulator engagement later. C, capture QA's compliance concern in risk register while continuing sprint with AI first features. D, facilitate team alignment between developers and QA on regulatory quality thresholds before adoption. So here goes the timer. So as I mentioned, just mention the question number next to your option because it will be very easy for us to look into, refer to, and address your queries. Okay, coming back to the question, there is a conflict. This question is more about a conflict resolution. Okay, so the QA, the developers push the AI first diagnostic. QA says regulators may flag results. So whatever the result that is coming up, that is a regulatory concern. And the sponsor is saying, let's focus on the innovation image. So because of this, there is a different different direction from each of the team, and so there is a conflict. So how you're going to address this? So document conflict in issue log, we will not do it because conflicts, you as a project manager, you are there to solve the conflict. You are going to resolve the conflict. And also this says while deferring QA concerns to governance body, we will never do that. Okay, that is, as we have been repeatedly saying, it takes precedence. Okay, and option B says prioritize sponsors innovation concern while planning regulator engagement later. Yes, again, this is like ignoring the regulator concern. So no, this option cannot be right. We'll go to the C, capture QA's compliance concerns in the risk register while continuing sprint with AI first features. This may seems to be like a more of addressing both the concerns, right? But here there is a small trick. Okay, here they have put it as a risk register. No, this is not a risk. This is like you identify anything even before that is happening. Okay, so here they are warning about that these results may be flagged by the regulators. So it is not a risk, but it is an issue. So because of that, we will be eliminating this option. And finally, the option D says yes, facilitate team alignment between developers and QA on regulatory quality threshold before adaptation. So this seems to be like the team has to be aligned. Developers, QAs has to be aligned with this, and then considering how you can adopt to the sponsors insisting on innovation image or whatever it is. Okay, so facilitating is one of the word that can be found for collaborative solutions. Okay, so yes, so we'll be moving on to the next question. City Trans has finished smart ticketing. Sponsor demands closure for publicity. Authority requires 6-month benefit tracking. Finance pushes closure to reduce overhead. Union demands training funds before sign off. What is the first step? A. Allocate union training fund while deferring benefit validation for later governance. B. Expedite closure per finance request while logging benefits validation as post-project work. C. Record benefit requirements in benefit register and delay closure until evidence is validated. D. Proceed with sponsors closure request while capturing pending benefits in lesson learned. Okay, so what is the problem here? We'll decode that they have finished smart ticketing. So there is a project that they have finished, and the sponsor is asking for publicity, the foreclosure for publicity. Okay, but the authorities require 6 months benefits tracking. So here they wanted to see how much of benefit this system is going to give for 6 months. So they need that information, and the finance department is pushing for closure to reduce overhead. So they can work on the other aspect of the projects. Okay, union demands training funds before sign off. So the unions who is going to work on this particular smart ticketing project in the like in real time, they are demanding training funds that they have to spend on it before they go for the sign off. So there are multiple scenarios that is mentioned. So when you are going to solve it, you should know the precedence of what comes first, what needs to be addressed first, then solve it. Okay, so let's go to the options. Allocate union training funds while deferring benefit validation for later governance. So this part of the answer makes this as a eliminating, I mean, makes this as an irrelevant option for this particular question. So you will not defer any benefit validation, because the authority who wants to approve this in implement, they are requesting for 6 months benefit tracking. So even though you finished, if you have to install for the publicity or for the public for them to use, and if the authority is asking you for the benefit tracking, so that takes the precedence first. So you will never defer that benefit validation. Okay. So moving on to the option B. This says expedite closure per finance request while logging benefit validation as post project work. Now you cannot be doing this. You cannot expedite closure unless you have anything that is pending with the project. You cannot do it as a post project work. Benefit validation is part of your project work. Okay, so this option is also eliminated. Record benefit requirement in benefit register and delay closure until evidence is validated. Let's go to the D option and see whether C stands good or not, because here the authority is talking about benefit tracking. So so far we have never heard about the benefit register and benefit requirement, but let's see the option D, and then we will discuss. Proceed with sponsor closure request while capturing pending benefits in lesson learned. Benefit validation or benefit assessment, you will never put it as a pending activity in a lesson learned, right? So this seems to be a little off. So considering among these 4 options, even though in your real exams, if you find a word that is very new that you have not heard about and you are not able to make a decision whether the option C is right or not, after eliminating A, B, and D, which doesn't suit to be a right option for here, then we are left with option C, and this says record benefit requirements in benefit register, and you can delay closure until the evidence is validated, right? So here you have to produce it to the authority who has asked for the tracking, and then you have to wait until you have received everything that is related to the closure from all the authorities, and then only you will be going for the closure. So this option, even though these terms are very new, you can never ignore this as a irrelevant option, because considering elimination technique for these questions, you have landed with option C as the right option. Okay. So going with question 21. ShopEase, a multinational e-commerce retailer, is launching a unified checkout system across Asia and Europe. Midway, the marketing VP demands integration of region-specific promotions. The engineering director warns this would affect the scope baseline. The European compliance officer reminds the team that data sharing laws required further validation. Meanwhile, the Indian development team feels excluded from the decision making due to cultural communication barriers. What should be done? Option A, convene governance stakeholders, sponsors, marketing, compliance, and engineering to validate scope impact before rebaselining. Option B, capture marketing's feature request as a backlog enhancement while continuing existing baseline work. C, conduct cultural sensitivity session for Indian developers while addressing governance issues later. D, prepare cost and schedule impact estimates for marketing before involving governance stakeholder. This seems to be like similar to a question we discussed earlier. So I hope you all will be answering right for this question. Yes. As few of you has mentioned the answer. Yes, A is the right option. The next time onwards, if you can provide a reason why you are eliminating the other options, it will be good so that we learn something when we are doing the session, right? So yes, so here there might be a difference of cultural communication barriers, and there is a regulatory compliance concern, and the engineering director wants that the changes that is going to be related to the region specific promotions will cause scope baseline. So there are multiple inputs coming in which is going to impact the baseline. So what you can do it at one go is you call everybody into the meeting, and you can have a meeting to discussion to validate whether the scope impact is what is the scope impact before rebaselining. You should know, determine the amount of rebaselining you need to do only after convening all the stakeholders together in the meeting. Okay, so that you don't miss out any specifications or any compliances. Okay, so this option A stands as a good option in including all the problem statements that is mentioned here from the different stakeholders. So we are going with A. Okay. So yes. Still, if you want to know why option B, C, D are eliminated, I can go ahead and explain you. Because here option B says capture marketing features request as a backlog enhancement while continuing existing baseline work. No, this is again like a reactive work. Reactive PMI's mindset or PMI alignment, or what they will be expecting you to analyze and quantify the amount of work that needs to be done even before jumping and doing the rebaseline. Okay, so that is called reactive. So option B is more towards the reactive. At the same time, they want to see some solutions coming out of your action items. Okay, whatever you are doing. So option B, no, it is reactive. Option C says conduct cultural sensitivity sessions for Indian developers while addressing governance issues later. If this word is not added, maybe this would have been like addressing both the problem, but still it is leaving out the sponsors and the marketing requirement. So these options can be eliminated. Option D says prepare cost. Again, it is a reactive solution for this statement. So that is the reason. So moving on to the next question. So Orbital X is building a satellite launch system. Supplier delays in avionics threaten launch date. So their supplier is having a delay. The board insists on demonstration before fiscal year end. The sponsor urges continuity through alternative suppliers. Engineers warn that integration substitutes may trigger safety non-conformance. Public media is already questioning project viability. What should the project manager do? Option A says document avionics delay as an issue while convening procurement governance to assess continuity options. B, re-baseline the launch schedule to align with board's fiscal year pressure before supplier alternatives are confirmed. C, address public perception concerns through communication strategy while evaluating technical solutions later. D, proceed with sponsors suggested supplier switch while logging the associated safety risk for monitoring. So here goes the timer. Okay, so let's see the options one by one. Option A, document avionics delay as an issue. Yes. So the supplier says there is a threaten in the launch date because of the delay in the avionics. Yes, that is an issue. While convening procurement governance to assess continuity options, as we saw in the turbine example in the previous questions. So again, here you are looking out for how you are going to continue with the options. This goes hand in hand. They are raising it as an issue, as well as they're looking out for alternate option to continue. So this option address both the part. So rebaselining the launch schedule to align with board's fiscal year pressure before supplier alternatives are confirmed. No, this is reactive solution, so we will not be going to that. Option C, address public perception concerns through communication strategy while evaluating technical solutions later. No, we cannot do the technical solution later, because even though the public media is already questioning the project viability, which takes precedence is addressing whether we are able to launch the satellite on that particular date or not. So first we need to make sure this takes a precedence rather than addressing the public concern through communication strategy. So option C can be eliminated. So option D, proceed with sponsor suggested supplier switch while logging the associated safety risk for monitoring. This can be option, but this doesn't immediately or doesn't cover how we are going to address the continuity options. Okay, so this is one of the suggestions. Maybe after A, the first step is A, maybe after this can be a option D can be an outcome of an option A. We might not be knowing whether this is the only option. Okay, this can be one of the outcome of option A. After you dock it as an issue, and after you have identified this continuity option, maybe you can go with option D and work, or there may be a number of options. So this is a direct option, but this is one you will be looking out for as a solution for this question. Okay, next. Agree next is piloting an AI based crop monitoring tool. Investors push for early release to show benefits. Farmers cooperative resist adoption, citing usability concerns. Developers feels demotivated as feedback is ignored. Product owner is abroad and unavailable to resolve the conflict. Sponsor demands board demo in 3 weeks. What is the most appropriate first step? Option A, capture cooperative concerns in backlog refinement while aligning developers to re-engage with usability features. B, note investor urgency in roadmap documentation while prioritizing sponsors' demo deadline. C, defer cooperative concerns until product owner returns to validate backlog prioritization. C, record developer morale issue in team charter while focusing first on investor benefits. Okay, let's go back to the options. I think this question I'll do it from D. record developers' morale issues in team charter, team charter update while focusing first on investor benefits. Okay, this is addressing two of the concern. One is the developers' morale, and the second one is investor benefits. But this project is being developed for the farmers, so for them to use during the crop monitoring tool. Okay, so they are having usability concerns. Even though if the investor is pushing and the developers are not okay, this has to be the major concern for this particular AI based crop monitoring tool to be sold to the, or to be effective in the market, right? So this option doesn't include that, so we can eliminate option D. Option C, differ cooperative concerns until product owner returns to validate backlog prioritization. Why in our most of our questions the product owner is not available is given is because PMI wants to check you as a project manager. If you are there, how you are going to resolve this situation. Maybe if the product owner statement is not exclusively given here, and if the option is saying consult with product owner to get a solution, then that stands the good option to go with. So here, if that option is not available as a project manager, what will be your action is what this question is demanding from the PMI perspective. Okay, so this is like no action, you are not taking any action, so this option can be eliminated. Option B, note investor urgency in roadmap documentation while prioritizing sponsors demo deadline. So all three options are not addressing the major issue where the farmers cooperative resist adaptation, citing usability concern. So only option that supports that is option A, which is the core issue of this particular problem statement that you have to give importance to. So option A is right. Okay. So moving on to the next question. Streamwave Global Media Streaming Service is upgrading its recommendation engine. Okay. Marketing insists on rapid AI deployment to outpace rivals. Legal warns about GDPR compliance gaps. The sponsor is unavailable due to board meetings. The sponsor has to take decisions, or who is a senior, they are not available to give you a concern or go ahead or whatever the decisions that needs to be made. Developers are confused by conflicting directives and stop updating progress logs. So now the finance is also pressing for visibility of the risk exposure. So what should PM do? So clarify compliance requirements with legal and ensure alignment with marketing before governance revalidation. Option B, engage governance stakeholders one sponsor is available to balance compliance, marketing, and financial pressures. Update risk register with GDPR concern while continuing sprint with marketing deployment roadmap. D, direct developers to resume updates while escalating conflicting directives to portfolio oversight body. So here goes the timer. Okay, so Going back to the options, let's eliminate. We'll go from D. Direct developers to resume updates while escalating conflicting directives to portfolio oversight body is first of all escalation. So that option you can eliminate. Option C says update risk register. No, this is not a risk register. It is the legal warns about GDPR compliance gaps. Already they have said, oh no, this particular streaming service is not according to the compliance. So this is an issue. So there is a trick over there. So it can be eliminated. Option B says governance stakeholders, once sponsor is available, to balance compliance, marketing, and financial pressures. Because why here we are saying one sponsor is available is because after the board meeting he will be available, right? So he's here. It is not mentioned that he's traveling or not available. He is just unavailable due to your board meetings. So once that is done, he can be available for the discussion. So and this also has include bringing in the different stakeholders, and yes, and A says clarify compliance requirements with legal and ensure alignment with marketing before governance revalidation. No, the precedence goes this way. So compliance and governance has to be taking place, and then you make sure that marketing is coming later. So because of that, we are going with option B. Okay, both the issues are addressed here. Governance revalidation is done after this alignment with marketing. Okay, then going on to the next question, the last question of this session. Global Move is finishing a smart warehouse automation program. Sponsor wants immediate closure for shareholder reporting. Local warehouse unions demand training metrics before acceptance. Finance stresses closure to reduce overhead. Regional managers warn cultural adaptations varies across warehouses. What should the project manager do? Proceed with sponsors closure request while documenting training gaps and lesson learned. Expedite closure to satisfy finance while scheduling post-project adaptation surveys. Record union and manager concerns in benefit register while delaying closure until benefit evidence is validated. D. Launch communication campaign to improve cultural adaptation while initiating partial closure for finance. Yes. So I can see the options that is being given by you guys in the comment section. So yes, let's go back to the options. So here they didn't talk about benefit here, even though in the questions, right? But in the options, they are talking about benefits before closure. Since we had saw the benefit, how it is going to be managed before the project closure. So we know the precedence of activities, precedence of action that you have to follow when you are looking out for options. See, it is like in that question they have given explicitly about analyzing the benefit somebody is asking for it. Okay, but here in this question they didn't mention it in the question, but in the options they have mentioned it. Okay, so if you see the option C, record union and manager concerns in benefit register while delaying closure until benefit evidence is validated. Even though there is a pressure from the sponsor for closure, and even the finance stresses to close to reduce overhead, but why you have developed this automation program? So you have to provide the benefits and analyze the benefit plan before, benefits before you go for a closure. So option C is right. Okay. We will see option A here. Lesson learned you are updating is not equal to realizing the benefits. Okay, benefit validation cannot be done when you just put it in the lesson learned, like documenting training gaps in lesson learned. No, you have to resolve it even before it goes, before the training. Before the product is launched and goes to the market. Okay. So option A is not right. Option B, expedite closure. No, even though finance saying, even though there is a pressure, you will not do it as a post-project adaptation service. Okay. And D will say communication campaign to improve cultural adaptation while initiating partial closure for finance. No, without realizing the benefits and providing the evidence, we will not do that. Okay. Yes. So I can see the key takeaways that has been put over here. Yes, most of the questions of this particular session is more towards the business environment questions, where these will be focusing on. So what is the precedence of the governance requirement, compliance requirements, where it stands, how the PMI warns a PM even in place where the other has to take a decisions, like product owner, sponsors has to take a decisions. What will be your role as a PM when you are standing in the scenario? And one most important thing is how you will be able to see and eliminate the options, because even though there is going to be the new the forms are going to take place and the exam is going to take place in June, maybe somewhere around they can put in a survey questions saying like how we are able to address the question. So best technique is use elimination technique, see what is the underlying problem statement there, and then you can see how you can pick up the solution or the options from the questions, okay, from that is given. Hope you had enjoyed this session. So please don't forget to check with your coaches in your batches in your WhatsApp group about any differences or any queries. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, we'll be meeting you in the next coaching call. Thank you, everybody.
I would have not been able to clear the exam if Amir Ali would have not been there. I would have not been.
I did not believe that I will be able to clear my PMP within a month.
I don't know what to say actually. Like I'm kind of like really
I got my results and I was above target in all 3 categories.
Wow.
So